back to the vlog. Right now I'm in the car about to hit up the grocery store because today I am meal prepping, and so I decided why not bring you along. I'm making a Sunday pot roast today, and I am just over the moon to make it, not only because it tastes good, but I actually enjoy the process of making it as well. I started meal prepping this past month, and it's proven just to be a complete game changer. Meal prepping really is a great way to automate your life. I've never been a leftovers type of person. That's never been my jam, but I can honestly say that it really is a game changer. I'm able to save so much time during the week, but I have found that when it comes to meal prep, for me personally, I just think making enough meals for 3 days and also meals that actually taste good, I think that's what keeps me going and why I continue to do it, because in the past I've tried it and I failed, but this time around I'm doing pretty good. What it looks like when we're finished in the crock pot. I went on ahead and removed the string. You don't want to remove the string until you're finished cooking. Last time I made this, I made the mistake of cutting the string before cooking the actual pot roast. You don't want to do that. It is now New Year's Eve, and I am at home, as you can see. It's about 6 o'clock, and right now I'm getting ready to go out for New Year's Eve. I mentioned it in a previous vlog that I'm part of a crew, a dance crew called the NOLA Lolas, and it's like a social club. This is the first time that I've ever been a part of a crew, a social club, anything like that. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a little bit now, because just to be transparent and just kind of share this, because first of all, I joined the social club and I just had the intent of being part of the club and being part of the support group within the club. It's called the VI Pinks. And so these ladies assist the dance crew when it comes to events and performances like Mardi Gras parades, things like that. And I was just so excited to finally do something different and just put myself out there. Well, the costume for this crew is custom made. And so, like I said, I had no, it did not cross my mind to join the actual dance team. Well, initially I wanted to, but I said, okay, let me just get my feet wet first. Well, there was a woman that wound up dropping out, and it just so happens that they had an extra uniform. And it also just so happens that she was similar to me. in size, which I'm petite, I'm short, all of that. And so she was too. So they said, Amber, we have an extra costume if you want to try it out. And so I was like, okay. And I will say with the costume, I didn't think it was necessarily inappropriate. I just didn't know if I personally could get away with it. Some of you may understand this, like when you are a leader, when God is using you as a leader, ministry, church, whatever, you're just held to a different standard. And a lot of times you can't necessarily get away with things other people get away with. And so I just kind of felt like in my mind that was off limits. And so when they told me about this extra costume, I said, well, I'll try it on. And if I'm comfortable in it, and if my husband doesn't have an issue, then I'll move forward. And also even bigger than that, just, if the Lord, if I feel uneasy in my spirit, if I feel like that's a no-no, like I'm not going to do it. And so the night before I went to try on the costume, like, I don't know why I had so much conflicting feelings about it. And I wanted to do it so bad, but I kept thinking, like, will that hurt my testimony? Like, what will people think of me? Like, I was starting to just get anxiety just thinking about it. Maybe not anxiety, but just feeling overwhelmed. And so I just remember the Lord just so gently and lovingly just putting this impression on my heart. Amber, you're worrying too much about what people think instead of what I say. And that just gave me like so much peace in that moment, because number one, I realized I'm approaching this the wrong way. And if I'm caring what anybody thinks, it needs to be God and Him alone. So the next day I tried on the uniform. It fit perfectly. And I will say this, it's custom made. And a lot of these women, I shouldn't say a lot of these women like that, but pretty much there are women who they've got the curves, okay? And they want you to know they're working with some curves, okay? And it just so turns out that the girl who was fitted for the costume I had was more bustier than I was. And so with my costume, there's a lot of coverage, which I'm very grateful for. And the other women in the group, like, I don't judge them for, wanting to show off what they have. Listen, as a Christian woman and just in my relationship with the Lord, I don't hold other people to the expectations I have for myself. And more than anything, this opportunity just gives me the chance to get out of my Christian bubble and outside of like just this whole faith-based world I'm a part of. And it allows me to come face to face with real people who are dealing with real things and living a real life. And I think sometimes as Christians, we can get so comfortable with our people that if we're not careful, we start to neglect our calling to be a light in the world. And so already I've just been able to connect with some different women. And, one lady even, came to me and spoke to me about her opinions when it comes to the church and the sexual ethic and different things like that. And look, I was not prepared, okay? We were at a party. I was having a good time. I was like, whoa, I didn't see this coming. But the Lord was like, that's good. Like, that is, I've positioned you to be here. And I think for me, it's just amazing because I finally get to do something fun. My grandfather, when he was alive, he always was like, Amber, you're too serious. You need to loosen up and you need to learn to have fun. So now I can do something that's fun where I don't have to compromise anything. All of our dance moves, everything we do is so classy, it's clean, which is a miracle, by the way. And even the founder who started the crew, like her and I go to church together. And so it's just really cool to be a part of this. And I wasn't even going to show y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't going to show y'all really anything about it. I know I showed y'all the little I know I showed y'all the little photo shoot I did a while back, but honestly, I was like, Lord, I'm not showing anything else, because I think there's just a lot of people online who have a religious spirit. And sometimes I had somebody recently reply to a comment I left someone, and they were like, Amber, I'm disappointed at how you responded to this person. That is not like a woman of God should respond. And I was like, you're right. But I will say that being on an online space with this platform, I take it very seriously. And I don't ever want to be responsible for leading anyone astray or saying something out of context. Like, I don't ever want to be a stumbling block or anything like that. And so with that being said, I was just afraid, honestly, to show what I was doing, because I thought other people just wouldn't understand me. I thought I was going to just be misunderstood, which I very well may be misunderstood. And, people just make judgments of you so quickly. And that's something you cannot control. But this is my life. This is what I do. And I want to be authentic. I want to be myself. I told my husband I was not going to be showing this tonight. I told him I'm getting ready to go do my makeup and get ready. And he said, make sure you vlog. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And he was like, why not? And I said, well, I just know there's going to be people to attack my faith and question my relationship with God and have things to say that's just ugly. And listen, I'm human, and I know in my heart I love the Lord. I know that Jesus is everything to me, and I want people to have a relationship with Christ. But I'm still human, and sometimes when people say certain things, it can cause me to second guess myself. It definitely can. I wouldn't say it's ever gotten the best of me, but I'm the type of person, like, I don't want to deal with it, so why share it? Like, I'll keep people in the dark, you know what I mean? Not like in a bad way. But yeah, y'all, I think I want to share this because there's going to be times in your life where the Lord does put it on your heart to do something that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And it's never going to compromise. It's never going to contradict himself, his word. It's never going to be like that. But sometimes, not even sometimes, the more you mature in your walk with God, the more you start to realize and kind of become familiar with tension. Tension, it's a real thing. That's why we need the Holy Spirit, though, because we can't lean to our own understanding, right? Jesus made himself accessible to sinners. He never compromised himself, though, but he would go spend time with people the religious people would have never spent time with, and they did not spend time with, right? And so there is tension a lot of times when we have to go out and be amongst the people, right? I remember in college, the Lord showed me one time, sometimes you have to be willing to go on their turf. I'm speaking about the unchurched, the unsaved, right? I think as Christians, we get so comfortable and we invite people to church, oh, come to my church, come visit. And I don't think we understand how uncomfortable that can be for somebody. Just like if somebody were to invite you to, like, I don't know, I live in New Orleans, so like live music is a thing, right? So what if I'm befriending someone and they're an artist and they have a show at some, bar or whatever, and they're like, hey, I'm performing, I would love for you to come watch me, right? Naturally, that would be uncomfortable for me because that's not my scene. However, I'm at a place in my faith now, I would go because I'm more focused on the relationship. And I know going into a space like that is not going to cause me to stumble in my faith at all. But I just say all that to say, like, sometimes we have to remember that in the same way we might feel uncomfortable, another person might feel uncomfortable too. We know church is a good thing and we have the best intentions, but that's still foreign territory. And so that's just something that I have had to get comfortable with and understand. And I just want to share that with you because there's going to be times in your life where, you do something and it's different. But as long as your intention is to glorify God and to go in and be missional and to guard your testimony and to stand firm on your faith and your convictions, everything else will be fine. So now that I've shared all of that, this is my costume behind me. Well, part of my costume. I think my headpiece fell over. It looks crazy. But I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my makeup. And once I'm finished with that, I'm probably gonna chill for a little bit and then we'll be heading out. So the next time I see y'all, I will be in full costume and we're going to be downtown New Orleans. The Sugar Bowl is tomorrow. So there's so many tourists in the city. Downtown is already crazy right now, as you might imagine. And I'm excited. I'm excited for y'all to see this. And I hope that what I've shared so far has been encouraging to you.